This week on football, we're going to be discussing the player of the season candidates. You've got Morgan Rogers, you've got Erling Haaland, you've got Bruno Fernandes, and you've got Declan Rice. Who are you having? And all the credits. Hello everybody, welcome to This Week on Football. We have got a hot topic to discuss. It is player of the season. The probabilities have been announced. Do you want to hear them?
I do.
So, Declan Rice, his probability is the highest at 62%. Mm-hmm. You've then got Erling Haaland at 18%. Mm-hmm. You've got Bruno Fernandes at 11%. And then you've got Morgan Rogers at 8%.
Okay.
Before I looked into this and did a bit of research, because I was going off heart, not head, I would have said one name and one name only for this. I think I've changed my mind.
Can I guess? Can I guess that your original thought was Decky?
It was Declan Rice.
But now it's Bruni.
Now it's Haaland.
Okay.
I am still torn. I'm not 100% unequivocally, yes, it's got to be, but it has shifted towards Haaland. I don't think we can look past him being the best player this season just because Man City aren't going to win the league.
Agree. I hate the narrative that you have to be the league winners to have the best player. I think someone like Igor Thiago should be in with a shout because it's mind-bending what he's doing at Brentford under Keith Andrews.
What Brentford are doing in general.
Exactly. And is that going to be overshadowed? I mean, we even arguably some of our players just got in by default because we won the league.
Yeah.
That weren't necessarily better than other players. If you've got 27, 28 goal contributions like Haaland has in late Jan, February.
27 already.
He went on his longest ever goal drought in his career. It's outrageous.
And I think it's too easy to write off Haaland because we expect it. And I don't think that's fair on him. I don't think it's fair to not give players their flowers just because they are so good.
Yeah.
I think, for example, someone like Kylian Mbappe suffers from this because we expect him to score every week and we expect him to score and be the best player on the pitch every week. He's not in the Ballon d'Or shouts. He should be winning the Ballon d'Or this season, regardless of whatever somebody wins. He's been the best player on the planet. And he is the best player on the planet.
Yeah. And dare I say it, not this season, you can categorically take that one out. That Salah's been a victim of it as well in the past because his bar has been so high.
Yeah, I agree.
The numbers that he gets is almost like, oh, well, it's Mo Salah. So, we expect 30 goals a season, 40 goals a season, all comps. These players are putting astronomical numbers up. And because it's just expected of them.
I think that's a big issue.
And that's where it comes with the Arsenal fans will obviously say Declan Rice, and I can understand it. I really can. But it, again, is that masked by the fact of where they are. Declan Rice has been phenomenally consistent and has obviously improved them no end to get them to where they are. I feel a little bit sorry for him because that sort of defensive or even just a midfielder is always going to lose out on goals and assists.
Yes, and influence on the team can't always be measured from goals and assists, especially when you're a player like a number 8, like Declan Rice, gets forward and also defends really well. I have got some statistics that might back up why I think Declan Rice shouldn't be winning player of the season.
I'm all ears, baby.
Are you ready for them?
All ears.
I'll start off with Morgan Rogers. Morgan Rogers has 8 goals. And 5 assists. Only 3 players in the league have completed more through balls. I'm looking at players who are topping their statistics for the position they play. Morgan Rogers, one of the highest scoring midfielders, one of the highest amount of assists, especially if you combine them as well. So then you say, right, it's goal contributions. He's up there in his position. So I think that on top of the fact that Villa are doing so well, I think that makes him a strong contender.
Yeah.
I don't think it should be him. Bruno Fernandes, 8 goals, 12 assists, the most assists out of any player in the Premier League this season. He's hit the woodwork more times than any other player in the league this season as well. So that is someone who's creating chances. He's a little bit unlucky as well. Highest expected assists in the league. Now, you can talk about XG and say it's a nonsense stat. Expected assists is a pretty good stat because you aren't judging whether someone can fire one in from 30 yards. You're judging if someone has set you up with a good goal scoring opportunity.
Yeah.
So I think that's really fair. So if the players in front of him have been putting the ball in the back of the net maybe a little bit more, he might have had even more assists than he currently has. I think he's in with a really good shout. However, I don't think United, a single United player, should be in team of the season or be competing for player of the season. That's my view.
And I would agree with that, because although you are in a brilliant position for where you'd want to see progress and from where you were last season, it's also as a result of a little bit of all the teams around not picking up points, and also it's kind of a not a purple patch, because you've done brilliantly to get 4 wins and a draw in the last 5 games. But prior to that, you would never have a United player in player of the season contention.
I agree. Then we've got Erling Haaland, 21 goals, more goals than anyone else in the league, 27 goal involvements, more than anyone else in the league. He's got 20.18 XG. That's nearly double the next closest, which is Igor Thiago. So he's also got a lot of chances on a plate. And you have to admit that, because City are so good, because they do create so many shooting opportunities, Erling Haaland is going to be top of that. So, of course, he's the top goal scorer, and of course he scores more than anyone else. But, again, we're looking at players who are top in their field, in their position, on the statistics. And then we go to Declan Rice. Declan Rice with 4 goals and 4 assists this season. Second most touches of the ball for any midfielder, so I'll give him that. However, he's not top on tackles. He's not top on duels won. He's not top on assists. He's not top on goals, not goal creating chances. He's not top on anything that would make him stand out as a midfielder. And for me to go, wow, what a performance. He must be player of the season. When I look at all of those, if Arsenal win the league and Declan Rice does something crazy, scores a last minute winner,
a company style,
something really like iconic, I think I can lean towards him. If he doesn't, and it just peters out, Arsenal do win the league, but Haaland keeps up this scoring record, it's got to be Haaland.
Yeah. I think which it shouldn't necessarily be, but I think where Declan Rice will fall down, once again, sorry guys, is the pedestal that Arsenal fans put him on, because they will have you believe that he is everywhere on that pitch. Constantly running, winning tackles, driving the ball forward, assisting, shooting, and clearly, statistically, he's not doing those things.
I was shocked when I read these stats, and I don't think you should judge footballers on stats.
No.
Solely. It's got to be the eye test. I watch Declan Rice, he's fantastic every time I watch him play. However, there are players all over the league doing better than him in almost every single measure as a midfielder. You've got Elliot Anderson, who's better in terms of tackles won, ground duels, all these different measures that a midfielder would pride himself on. Again, assists. Bruno Fernandes has triple his assists this season. Goals. You've got Morgan Rogers, who's got double the amount of goals that he has. And again, you can hit him with those sticks, and I don't think it's completely fair and to say that he's a bad player as a result of it. Of course he's not. He's been right up there and he's in contention to be player of the season. However, I don't think you can give him it if he's not hitting any of those metrics.
When it's all well and good if you're just describing Declan Rice solo and talking about how good he is. You can absolutely say, well, if you watch him, you do all of these things, and he's fantastic and he's steady, but he also gives you a little bit extra than what the average sort of midfielder, defensive midfielder might do. Absolutely. No one's I don't think either of us are discrediting how good Declan Rice is and how, I don't want to say revolutionised, but he has changed Arsenal from...
Yeah, he's made them title contenders.
100%.
And I think title favourites.
Yeah, and that's fine. If we're going on a player of the season, yes, you can go by the eye test, but you do also have to use some form of metric to finalise it and confirm who is the best player in their position. For me, if you're not on statistically the best player in your position in the league, you can't win the overall player of the season.
Yeah, and like I said, it's difficult to just go off stats because you watch Declan Rice and you love watching him, but I can't look past him not being anywhere near the top of the key metrics for that position in the league, and therefore I just think Haaland's got the edge.
You've got to take context into it, and I know a lot of Arsenal fans and probably a lot of other neutrals will say, well, because of the things you're saying about Declan Rice and how much he's made a difference to them and all that sort of thing, then that could be the context. But use the context for Erling Haaland. City would probably be in 6th or 7th without him this season.
I think Haaland's been the most important player in the Premier League.
You've seen their next best scorers and where else the goals are coming from, and they're just not.
Well, you take Declan Rice out of Arsenal, can Arsenal still win the league?
100%.
Yeah. You take Haaland out of City, do City finish 5th, maybe 6th, probably?
You couldn't definitively say, like, it would be. You could even make a case and an argument for it being lower. I mean, so there'll be some people out there that would do the numbers and things on this. If you took away every Erling Haaland goal this season, I would love to see where Man City would be.
Yeah.
Whereas, like you say, you take Declan Rice out in terms of goals and assists, they're not going to be much worse off.
Yeah. And I think Arsenal fans would argue with you and say, oh, Declan Rice is so important to us.
No doubt.
He's the reason why we're going to win the league. Well, you also then can't say that you're the best team in the league because you're relying on one player to win you the league.
And that's not Declan Rice.
I think the team is and the manager are the most important things for Arsenal, not Declan Rice. And I do love Declan Rice, but I don't think he is. I don't think he's overrated. I just think maybe people have gone a little bit far on him, myself included, up until today.
Yeah, I've never been wax lyrical about him and things. I think he's a brilliant player. I think probably from a biased point of view last season, because Ryan Gravenberch was so good for us, and you're constantly getting those comparisons, and you think a young lad that's playing in there really for his first season has outshone him, and Declan Rice is supposed to be a solid. That's why they bought him for so much money, is because you know what you're getting if you can't outperform that. So I've been a little bit harsh on him. I think he is an unbelievable footballer. I think he's a credit to himself in terms of how he's conducted himself since joining Arsenal.
Yeah, it's not easy to go from a deep line 6 to a box to box
more creative,
8.
yeah.
And he's definitely had that in his locker. I always like Declan Rice deeper, personally, and I know people always talk about Declan Rice has got to play in the 8. It's like when England come around in the summer, playing Declan Rice deeper doesn't make us a worse team for me. It makes us a better team because we can fit Cole Palmer in. Let's talk about Arsenal. I mean, just on that, are you going with Erling Haaland as your player of the season, do you think?
Yeah,
really?
I would do, yeah. And it bores
it's not often we agree on things on it.
It bored, just a caveat to it, it bores the life out of me.
It does.
The monster drinking goth from Norway.
But because he's so good, he is boring. I always go back to it. Like, the best sportsmen are robotic. They are just machines that turn up every week. You know what you're going to get out of them. They're going to succeed. They're going to win. And it's like, oh, God, this again.
I'd love it to be Morgan Rogers. I wouldn't love it to be Bruno. I'd love it to be an Igor Thiago or someone like that puts you in a state of surprise because they're even in contention.
I'd have Igor Thiago over Morgan Rogers.
Yeah, I would as well. But again, contextually, Villa, if they manage to hold on to any sort of top 4 place and
they've
go deep in Europe, they've overperformed. And Brentford, we had them both done by November. Keith Andrews sacked before he's even started. And so for that reason, those two should be getting a shout. And it does annoy me because the manager of the year will undoubtedly go to Arteta if they win the league.
Yeah.
The player of the season will be a Declan Rice or someone from that Arsenal side, which is likely to be him or even like a Raya or someone.
It's Gabriel.
Yeah.
You know, if you ask me who I think's been the most important player for Arsenal this season, I'd say Gabriel. And the fact that he's not even mentioned in this conversation, I think is a travesty because, yeah, he missed a couple of games, but since he's been back, they're solid. They are a threat from every set piece, and he is usually leading that line. He's usually the most threatening player to score from these set pieces, and he's got a lot of goals. He's kept loads of clean sheets. He's their best defender, so yeah.
If they win the league this season, it's because of their defence.
Yeah.
Hands down, and he's a core part.
But I also think I think the defence is the team. The team defends, not just the back 4. And that team, the way they press, the way they hold their positions, their discipline, that is down to Arteta. And I think Arteta's been the best manager in the league for the last 2 seasons, personally.
Goals win games. Defences win titles.
Yeah. Okay.
Haaland.
Arsenal win the league? Are you going to concede it?
Whilst you were waffling on then, I was thinking about it. And I want to just address the camera for a second, okay? I doubt any Arsenal fans actually watch this long-form content. And
is this going to be an apology?
There's been a lot of times where...
I'm shaking.
There's been a lot of times where, whether it's through the chomp, that again, you'll see at the end of the episode, or through my own anger at the fans and the fact they don't deserve it and things like that, all season I've been saying that at some point you'll bottle it. And I still believe it!
You scared me. You still believe they'll bottle it?
Yeah, I think City, that result against us on the weekend, it felt like the title races between us and City, where they go on these absolute ridiculous 14, 15 game winning streaks, and that will give them ultimate belief now. I think it'll have shaken up the Arsenal fans, the Arsenal players a little bit. 74th minute, Szoboszlai's goal goes in, the whole of North London would have been going crazy. And then 15 minutes later, that's a dagger to go 6 points.
Personally, I thought the dagger was at the Emirates, Mateus Cunha scoring, them getting beat, and they bounced back immediately. I just cannot see how Arsenal throw this away. And that's not me saying, it could be a bottle job. I just don't think that even them bottling it now, I just think they're such a good team. They're such a hard team to break down. They're such a hard team to go and beat. Yeah, they might drop a point or two, but I just don't think City are consistent enough. United are out the title race now, obviously, after that draw tonight. So other than Villa, you haven't really got any contenders. I just think Arsenal will saunter over the line. I
don't want to say it. I'll give them their credit. They're getting Arsenal they're going further.
Just apologise to them.
I'm not apologising to them. They said my wife was cheating on me. I'm going to keep bringing that up because that was really horrible. Don't say that to me in the comments.
They've said much worse.
Yeah. No, so for me, 6 points, 2 results, maybe 3 results. We got 13, 14 games left. What I will say to them all is, and you can put me on record with this, if Manchester City go on to win this league, I won't use the term bottling to describe it.
See, I would.
Would you?
If they lose it from here, that's the biggest bottle I've ever seen, because I don't think they can bottle it. So the only thing that could go wrong is them absolutely losing their heads.
Yeah,
they are such a good team that they're not going to get beat by a Brentford, a Sunderland. Even if they've got the North London derby coming up, they're not going to lose that game.
Well, no, but it's not the same with Spurs being where they are. Although Spurs are in a dogfight now, you just never know.
They're in a relegation scrap.
I think when we get to match week 30 and we review this, if it's still within 6 or 3 or 4 points, I think that's when you'll really, really see Arsenal's bottle.
So it is between Arsenal, Man City, no other teams.
Villa won't have the legs, and I'm apologise for that in saying it. And obviously, I'm not the Oracle and I'm not Mystic Meg, so I can't say that. I just don't think they have. I think the European competition for them will be massive, because at the end of the day, for clubs like Villas and Newcastles and stuff that are big clubs and that have won things in the past, I think, and it should be, that winning a competition and winning a trophy should, to the fans, mean more than just getting into the Champions League.
For sure, 100%.
So for me,
it means more to me.
Yeah.
I'm a United fan.
Yeah,
I'd rather see us win the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup than finish 5th place and get into a Champions League spot. I know United belong in the Champions League, but you only belong there if you finish there. So as far as I'm concerned, I want to see us lift trophies. I don't care.
I think Unai Emery is a serial European winner, and I think he'll look at that and say, "Are you looking at my cold sore?"
No.
I got really conscious over that then. I think that he will prioritise that to a degree. And I mean, Liverpool go and win tomorrow night, or tonight if you're watching it, or even yesterday if you're watching it, and start closing that gap, and they start having the Chelseas, Liverpools, Uniteds around them. I think just stature and club value and, history and experience should engulf them, and then they just sort of drop out.
I don't see him finishing top 4.
No. And so for that reason, I don't think Liverpool win it. shockingly. I don't think United will get close. I don't think either of us get close. I think
You weren't here for the Never United podcast this week, so I didn't get the opportunity to ask you the question. Who finishes higher in your opinion now, Man United or Liverpool?
the thing is, I'm never going to say United. I think it's unfair. Not unfair, but I think it's skewed asking me before we play. Because if we beat Sunderland...
Do you think you go and beat Sunderland?
Not really.
Well, then answer based off that.
Yeah, not really. No, I don't know. If you'd have lost against West Ham, if that was a loss, which would have been tough to take, you were poor.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be going, like I said to you, if you've got aspirations of getting top four and title challenges, you can't be going away to the London Stadium and not beating them after winning 4 games.
That was the best performance I've ever seen from West Ham in my life.
I couldn't believe it.
Player for player, they were unbelievable. Typical United turn up and every player on that pitch is a 10 out of 10. I watched Somerville and I honestly thought on the back of his shirt it said Messi. It was one of the best performances, player for player. Thomas Souček doing... Is that the worst celebration in the Premier League? It's the worst celebration I've ever seen. I like Thomas Souček, by the way. I think he's a good player. I like him as a person. My head, oh my God, it's on Mars when I see that celebration. I feel like he scores against us every week, by the way. Every time he plays against us, I see him doing that fucking dizzy dance.
You know what? I would agree with you usually, but there was 2 players that were sharing that pitch tonight, which was Thomas Souček and Joshua Zirkzee. And Souček has earned his right to do a dodgy celebration because he bags. Joshua Zirkzee getting 1 or 2 goals in a season and start putting out that.
No. Souček's is worse.
No, what if you don't like what? I'm a gunner, yeah, because I've scored 1 goal in 39
If
games.
Zirkzee didn't play for United, I take these 2 players, say England are playing and it's Holland versus England or it is Czech Republic versus England. Which would you prefer to see? I'd rather see Zirkzee's guns than Thomas Souček doing that absolute... Oh my God, my head...
Can anyone tell us why he does that? Do you know why he does that?
I think it's his daughter or something like that.
Oh, right.
And I think it's a nice story behind it.
Then I'd prefer to see Souček.
It doesn't make my head any less on Mars.
It's that one when he scored the winning penalty against Arsenal in the FA
Okay,
Cup.
worst celebrations in your lifetime, the ones that stick out in your head, top 5. Souček's in there.
Harvey Elliott's.
That's right up there. Taking your shirt off when your team doesn't win, so Richarlison, it's got to be in there.
Yeah, or taking his shirt off and the goal gets disallowed.
Yes, so we got 2, 3. I'll include Harvey Elliott's because it's the most cringe thing I've ever
I
seen.
couldn't believe it.
Worse than that.
Oh, Bolo Zenden's dancing.
No.
He's just in the bathroom.
No, I've got one worse. Bafétimbi Gomis.
Oh.
Right. These are celebrations
Out of context brand, by the way.
Celebrations that make your head go.
Oh, there would have been loads over the years.
Top 5. I'm going Gomis. I am going for Joshua Zirkzee because my head would go if I wasn't a United fan.
I'm trying to think.
Thomas Souček is definitely in there. You can't have the taking your top off because
Take your top off.
because it's funny if it doesn't go their way.
I mean, just Richarlison.
The chicken dance is in there. Richarlison's chicken dance. There's 4.
Because that's like, you can see the 90th minute winner on FIFA and you just see each one. Honestly.
And one more. What else?
Got to be.
Let us know in the comments if you can think of a celebration that makes your head go even more.
We got time. We got time, and you can edit this.
Okay.
We've got to think of one that like puts your app like the blood is.
Zoboslai's annoyed me.
What?
That annoyed me.
Yeah, but
go and win the game, mate.
Yeah, which is fair. Yeah, but again, if
looking handsome into the camera,
if he'd have
clicking your fingers and winking, go and win the game.
If we'd have won the game, that's cold as fuck. That like inevitable.
It's not cold. It's cringe.
Cole Palmer's is a bit.
I'm not a fan of Cole Palmer.
That one used to annoy me when everyone was doing the A, but that wouldn't put my head on Mars. Something that, okay, non-player celebration that put my head on Mars, even though I was over the moon that it happened.
Alan Pardew. That's
what
that.
A donut,
yeah, from a manager's point of view, that's got to be.
If that was scored against Liverpool in a cup final,
yeah,
and I saw him doing that, I probably would have broken the TV.
I mean, what a feeling to
There
go,
was
and,
one-
go and win that game after that.
When we went 2-1 down in the Europa League final against Sevilla, I was in the pub watching it, and there was a player doing something, and I nearly got chucked out because I punched the pub's TV, because I was that angry at him. You did it once as well. I think it was on. We had it on camera somewhere. When you celebrated, you shut up, you, and I can't remember who it was. Smiling away. I can't think of another one, but there will be some. So let us know your team's worst concession of a goal where the player has wound you up the most with a celebration. Jesse Lingard doing his...
All right, that's in there. Because literally calling the Emirates his dance floor, that's got to be in there. That's in there. Okay, there's our 5. You've got Bafétimbi Gomis, like the ring out of the TV. You've got Jesse Lingard's celebration at the Emirates when he pretends he's a pipesman. You've got Chicken Dance Richarlison.
Xerxes.
You've got Joshua Xerxes, and you've got Thomas Souček with his twisty round dance, which
I do
that is number 1 for me, because I've just seen it so many
I
times.
do think Harvey Elliott's unlucky to miss out there.
Yeah, but that's just embarrassing. That's cringe. The rest just make their rage bait.
Who was the guy that had a gunner tattoo? That had a gun tattoo? Oh no, that was wasn't that local to us? Was that Zach Evans?
I don't know who that
No, I'm
is.
sure someone had he's got a gunner tattoo on his leg, or a gun, and he pulled his sock down.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
I can't remember. Anyway, we
Okay,
digress.
moving on. Games that we watched tonight. United. That shows some character, I think.
You can look at it two
Scoring
ways.
late on.
You can look at it two ways. You should never have been in the game. Callum Wilson has dropped an absolute clanger twice by not feeding in. Don't even know who it was.
Magassa,
Was it Magassa? And then Adama Traore could have relayed Callum Wilson on, so it could have been 2-0. I think, again, from my biased anger point of view towards United, you can't be drawing that game. So I think it's a bad result for you. But in the context of scoring late again, Sesko again, then you take positives from it.
What do you think of Sesko? Because he's got a lot of stick this season. He's got a lot of stick off some high-profile pundits and some people that shouldn't be saying things, especially when it is his first season in the Premier League. He's still a young lad. That finish tonight was something special.
I think I say this as a blanket term, and not because of the F word that I want to say and that I defend every week on here, and like you're desperate for FW to do well. But I think as a blanket sort of opinion and mindset we should all have for young players that come to the league for the first time is just give them a bit of slack. It's not their problem how much a club pays for you.
Correct.
It is not their problem.
True.
They don't go in there and say, oh, you're only giving them 60 million. I want to be 100 million. I want to be 80 million. That comes with a huge pressure. I've never played in the Premier League, but just history tells you that it is a difficult league to adjust to. It is the most intense league in the world.
Especially from Germany.
Of course. It's a very, very different ballgame. Everything is so relaxed in Germany, whether it's the fans, the ownership of clubs, the refereeing, the style of play. When you come over from there, it takes you a long time, longer than we would imagine, because it's physical and the actual tactics and style of play. You don't learn that in 20 games. At the end of the day, if you talk about like mastering your art and your craft and things like that, they say, 10,000 hours? I know that they would have done that as a footballer, they'd have put in 10,000 hours, but you change the goalposts early on in your career. You've got to really adjust to that.
Because it's not just on the pitch, the training pitch that you're having to improve. It's actually physically on the pitch, minutes in the Premier League. You need that, and you need to build your backlog of minutes in the Premier League to adjust to it, to understand the pace of the game, the physicality, the intensity, whether you should be playing the ball first time, whether you should be holding it and taking a touch and maybe moving it on. Give your teammates a little bit of time, because the presses are so intense in the Premier League. You can't find the player that you thought was going to be there 1 second ago, because there's already someone there.
Just take the Cunhas, the Šeškos, the Florian Wirtzes and things like that. They are all players that in Germany had the freedom of the league to shoot. Sesko's example, shoot from wherever he wants. No one really closing him down. He could drop deep, pick up the ball, take it 10 yards and hit one from God knows how long. Florian Wirtz was able to just dance through players or whatever because there's less intense presses. Cunha gave a really good account of himself over there, and that's why he ended up moving to the Premier League. There's a common denominator where players struggle, and I don't care how much they cost. I don't care what people think of it, and there'll be idiots in the comments saying, "Oh, but they cost this much. They get paid this amount a week. That's your job. You should know how to do it."
That does my head.
Okay, you be fantastic at your job in England, and then a German branch of your company that you work for say, "Okay, come over here and do it for us."
And they don't speak your language.
You do not adjust straight away. No chance. And you'll be on a 50, 60 grand salary. These guys have got the weight of the world on them. So do I want to give loads and loads of credit to Benjamin Sesko? No, because I don't. We don't seem to get it for the other players that sort of struggle in the league and things like that. But I think if we all were really serious and on the same page, that we'd actually say they're all doing all right.
I don't think any of them are
flops.
No, I think the Wirtz thing is blown out of proportion mainly by us because we tend to blow it out of proportion, if we're honest, me in particular. But is he a bad player? Obviously not. Nobody thinks he's a bad player. Has he been terrible for Liverpool? No. Has he been amazing for Liverpool? No.
Has he warranted his price tag? Not yet.
No.
No.
And it's the same for Sesko, I think. But getting these little goals, and they're important goals because he scored twice against Burnley, obviously scored the winner at the Stretford end against Fulham, and then scored a really important equaliser in terms of momentum for Manchester United as well tonight. These are important goals, and regardless of whether you put your best display on and you might lose the ball 5 times, if you're there on the end of important goals, important moments, I think you're well worth your money because we've got a player in Benjamin Sesko who has cost us a lot of money, but he's also winning us a lot of points at this point.
Yeah.
So, and no one's scored more goals for Manchester United since Carrick's been in than Sesko, since Amram's left, than Sesko.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was a big factor. Amram leaving, Sesko's now our top goal scorer since. So that there's something there as well. New manager didn't work for him. Maybe this is working for him a little bit better.
You've got to prove yourself. At the end of the day, no matter how much your price tag is, if your manager doesn't fancy you because you're not putting in the hard yards or you're not finishing the chances that you should do or whatever, I think you said to me before we recorded about Bruno going nuts at Šeško at the end of the Spurs game, if he'd have then gone... I mean, it's hard when you've only got 10, 15 minutes to make a difference, which he did. But if he goes that game without a goal and then you get to the next game and he gets hooked at 60 minutes and he started and he hasn't got a goal, then it's a problem. You finding the back of the net is not a problem.
I said to you, for context on that, I said to you when Sesko came on tonight, he'll score tonight. And the reason I said that is because when I saw him miss that opportunity late on against Tottenham at the weekend, there was something inside of him that maybe he thought, I can get away with this. Bruno did not let him get away with that. Bruno was straight over, talking to him, telling him that doesn't happen. Because yes, it was 2-0 and the game was done, but 3-0, 1 more goal, that extra goal can mean a lot in terms of the run-in for top 4, for top 2, 3, and also for his momentum as a footballer. So when he came on tonight, I really felt like, he's got something to prove. Give him a chance, and I think he'll take it. And he took that chance. It was an unbelievable finish.
There's not many strikers in the Premier League that would score that. I can tell you that for absolute free. It was outrageous, and he meant it. It's not like he's not...
It wasn't a fluke, was it?
He's meant that. It's less about, for me, it would be less about the getting an extra goal and the goal difference and all that sort of stuff. It's more about that if you're not finishing them when we're 2-0 up, what are you going to do when the chips are down? And he's done that. Yeah. So I think it will do him the world of good.
Yeah, I think so. Tottenham lost again. They are in a relegation scrap. I was on the train home from the United game at the weekend, and I was in a tram full of Spurs fans, very amicable Spurs fans as well. The Spurs fans were turning around and saying, "Believe me, we're in a fight here."
Well, they are.
And I was thinking, nah. I thought you got too much quality. There's not a chance. And then West Ham pick up a point. Say Forest win. All of a sudden, they're a win or 2 games away from being right in it.
And they've shown absolutely no They've given nobody, mainly the Spurs fans, any reason to think that they will go on and start winning. They've got the North London derby. I know we've said it's a one-off game. I've always said this. It doesn't matter. Form goes out the window with things like that, especially the North London derby. But you can't really make a case for them other than, it's a one-off game.
I don't see a single world that Tottenham win that game.
I tell you what, once again, I'm going to address the Arsenal fans that may be watching this clip or this long-form video. I give you a lot of hate and bias against you. What I will say is I will personally find it hilarious if Spurs go down with a billion pound stadium. I think, can you imagine them?
It's a disaster.
I will find it hilarious, and that's not because I really particularly don't like Spurs or anything. I just think
I don't mind Spurs.
The arrogance.
It wasn't them who built the stadium. They weren't the fans.
No, I'm not even on about the fans. I'm on about the club just the club as...
Well, Daniel Levy's not even there anymore.
But the arrogance of going, we're going to build this unbelievable, all singing, all dancing stadium because we're on the rise, we're doing this. You've just won the Europa League, and the following season, after finishing 16th, 17th, whatever it was, that they go and get relegated. That is a disaster. That's funny.
I think the board were too busy spinning these plates,
100%.
which is money into the infrastructure and building the stadium. The plates over there, which was investing in the squad and ensuring that the squad was fit to challenge on all fronts, not just the Premier League, but in Europe as well. You're then spinning the Europa League plate, and you're also letting the Premier League plate drop. And it's all right if you go and win it, but imagine if they hadn't won it last season, and imagine if they were still in this position as well.
Big trouble.
Because both managers were going to get them into this position. We saw Ange Postecoglou do exactly the same thing to them last season. Thomas Frank, who's a top manager, has gone in. So something's fundamentally wrong with Spurs.
It's not a dig at the fans, by the way, for me. I actually feel sorry for you.
I was shocked by how sound the fans were on the tram. Obviously, we were United fans, and they were just all like chatting, and they were just telling us we were better than them.
No shocks there, is there? Tottenham and Man United fans both heading back to London.
We was on the tram, mate, from to Manchester Piccadilly.
We're also 3 hours from London. Yeah. Chelsea dropping points.
Chelsea dropping points.
After 2-0 lead.
I said on Monday during the podcast, I said I'm not really worried about Chelsea because I do think Chelsea can concede goals. I think Liverpool will be fine because I think, yes, you can concede goals, but I also think you could put 3 or 4 games together and go and win them all. Chelsea's biggest, most important thing is keeping Cole Palmer fit and in form. I don't think Cole Palmer's found form yet. I might have an exclusive for you. And I wasn't going to say this. Someone at the Man United game this weekend, sat next to me, might know something about Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
Might know something about where Cole Palmer wants to be after the summer.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily an exclusive that we all think that wants to happen from both parties. I think United would want him, and I think Cole Palmer would want to go there. The exclusive comes that there's actual legs in it.
There's more legs, he said. And this isn't someone who's a nobody. He's definitely in the Man United circles and close to people I can't. And I won't name my sources. I'll never name my sources. But there are certain things that he told me that I promised that I wasn't going to repeat, which I haven't. However, the Cole Palmer thing, there's a bit of legs to that, apparently.
Okay.
That's in the inner circles. And would I welcome that at Manchester United? Oh my God, yes, please. Get him here right now. If he's a United fan, which he was as a kid, United were after him when he was a kid in the Manchester City Academy. Go and get it done.
Yeah, I know this isn't one of the sections that we were going to talk about, and I've always been one for letting players have a chance at certain places and not getting too excited about a certain thing before it happens, because you just never know. I just wonder whether it would be too many cooks, too many big players, that effectively one of your other big names that has been signed is going to have to drop out.
Cole Palmer plays in the 10. Bruno Fernandes plays in the 8. Kobbie Mainoo plays in the 6.
Of course, Casemiro's going, isn't he? Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's a replacement, but if you want a player to come in and help you challenge for a title, I think you need the best players in the league. And Cole Palmer's in the top 5 players in the Premier League for me.
I think that would be harsh on Bruno, you know.
I think
he's having a rejuvenation or a he's affecting the game a lot more from a slightly further forward position.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that it would be Bruno who suffers as well. I mean, we might bring in a midfielder. Elliot Anderson is the obvious one for me. I think that's absolutely it's a free option. If you want to know whether a player is going to make it or not, there is absolutely no doubt in my mind that Elliot Anderson comes in and absolutely nails it at Manchester United if he came in. So maybe it's him. Are Man United and are the board willing to go and spend 250 million quid on two players? That's another question.
Well, if you get Champions League, you will. That's why it's important for you this season.
Yeah.
It's less important.
You think Champions League football happens, Cole Palmer comes?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think you'll break the bank again. I know, and this isn't a dig at United fans, but there's all this Glazer stuff and whatever. But you always spend money.
But we only spend the money that we have earned as a club.
Yes.
Minus what they've taken out.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I don't want to get into that debate because I've got, again, with the Spurs thing, I've got an element of sympathy because no one wants to see that from a club. If that started happening at Liverpool, then I'd be up in arms as well.
We also didn't spend a penny in January.
Yeah, and yeah.
So I think we're well within our rights to go and spend in the summer.
I don't disagree.
Okay. So that's relegation sorted. I think West Ham have got a chance. I think Forest could slip into it. I think Palace will be all right. I think Tottenham could slip into it but won't get relegated. As far as the top five, whether it's top four or top five that get Champions League football this season, I think Chelsea might sneak into it. I think Liverpool will finish above them. I think Man United will finish above both of them. I think Villa will be the ones to slip off. I think Arsenal will win the league.
Okay.
Nice and easy. Wrapped up. Okay, let's do weekend treble. Brandon won. I lost. And when Brandon wins, it's a decent amount. And you would be shocked by what we're on now as a total for the season. So far for this season, I am plus £39.68.
Okay.
You are plus £31.67.
What a comeback.
It is close. It only takes a couple of weeks. You've won 4 out of the last 8, 7.
Numbers.
9. 4 out of the last 9. You need, I would say, a third of them to come in. And you're in profit.
I've gone really, on paper, really safe this week.
Okay, go on then, give it me.
I've gone FA Cup special. I've only gone FA Cup.
Wow.
I've gone West Ham to beat Burton Albion, Wolves to beat Grimsby, and Burnley to beat Mansfield. So the reason I say I don't think they're safe with context.
Will Evans is Mansfield.
Yeah, but they are away to Burnley.
Doesn't like scoring against Premier League sides.
Doesn't return a lot. £10 returns £24.82. Yes, there is magic of the FA Cup. Yes, both Mansfield and Burnley and Grimsby are going to play out of their skin. I just think that these giant killing ties are much fewer and far between than they used to be.
You just saw Palace.
Of course, absolutely.
We've already seen United to Grimsby.
Yeah, they happen, no doubt. But I think if we're talking the teams that should, and look, West Ham need something to get their fans going. I know this result. Wolves absolutely need something, and Burnley is the only hope they've got of doing anything to salvage their season.
Burnley Mansfield is the one I see could be a hiccup. Maybe a 0-0 goes to.
I thought it'd just be a bit of fun just to do FA Cup.
Yeah, very good. Mine is Como versus Fiorentina over 1.5 goals. Yep. I've gone for Bayern to win away at Werder Bremen. And then I have got Derby versus Swansea over 1.5 goals. £10 on returns you £21.43. Very safe. I got scared, mate.
Yeah, you've really
I got scared because I don't like losing 2 in a row. I like to space them out. And yes, I won 3 in a row, but then I lost 2 in a row. Then I won, and then I've lost 2 in a row again. I don't like losing too many in a row, so I've gone safe. Back them if you want. At the moment, we're both in profit if you've been backing us. Obviously, if one of us wins a weekend treble, then great, you're immune from the chomp. If the other guy wins, you're both at the mercy of the chomp wheel, but because I didn't win, it's me doing the chomp. We got a choice of these chomps. Which one do you want to go?
I don't mind.
Brandon's written one, I've written one just in case. I got a lot of heat this week for my take on a factually correct decision in the Liverpool City game.
So let's break that down, right? If you have been so public, just say that there's a decent number of people that have seen the clips on TikTok, Instagram, one of your YouTube rants. I think it's too. I think the chomp's brilliant, but I think it's too obvious.
So we've got a VAR or we've got Declan Rice, because I wanted to go topical that Declan Rice shouldn't be winning the Player of the Season. It should be Moises Caicedo.
In terms of, this is business heads talking now, in terms of potentially getting the most clicks over to the long form YouTube video, I think the Declan Rice one is better, but I think more people would probably engage with the VAR one. It just feels like we've done Arsenal to the death.
It does. You're right. But the thing is, Arsenal are the topic of conversation, and the thing is,
they can't moan.
Arsenal fans complain that they are the topic of conversation when they're top of the league, and then if they weren't the topic of the conversation, why is nobody talking about us? You don't get it both ways.
Last season, they were all saying, "Why is no one talking about us?
We're talking about Arsenal.
Flying up the league. We've probably been the best team this season, but Liverpool are going to win it."
And now everyone's obsessed with Arsenal. Apparently, you can't have it both ways, you dorks. Okay.
I mean, you're doing it. You choose. I'm not going to force you to do one or the other. 51 minutes.
I'll do the Caicedo one.
Okay.
Because I know it's going to be easier for me to read it. I think.
Well, you've written it and you know it better.
So this is going to be. I've got a hot take for who I think should be Player of the Season. Everyone's saying Declan Rice. Well, then by that logic, it's actually Moises Caicedo. If you're going to say Declan Rice, show me one stat that Rice is above him on.
I kind of want to join in the chomp with you.
It's also going to be. Oh, you're welcome.
No.
And then it's also going to be finished off with he's managed. Moises Caicedo's managed all of this whilst being away with AFCON. That's a dangerous one, isn't it? Do you think that's dangerous? I'm almost a little bit like, do I even say that? Because do people infer it in a different way because I'm assuming he's African? Do I get in trouble for that? I don't think I should, but do people jump on that and call me the R word because I've suggested that he plays for an African nation?
We got called racists for saying that Saka isn't the best right winger in the Premier League, and also just having a bit of fun with some African names.
Yeah.
So I think there's a real.
So just before we come on, one of the comments came up on that video, just popped up a new one, and the guy was like saying you're laughing at African names, but your last name is Goalpost. It's like, bro.
No
yeah,
way.
Genuinely.
That's a clip.
And his name was like Shabunga Mangangwa. That was his name. You go and look it up. It was Shabunga Mangangwa.
I would like to see death threats for you, so I think you should do it.
Okay. All right, then. I've got a hot take for you. Who should be actual Player of the Season? Because who do you think it is?
Probably be Declan Rice.
If you think it is Declan Rice, name me one stat that Declan Rice is top in his fielding. Because by this logic, Moises Caicedo has a better shout of being Player of the Season than Declan Rice.
Okay.
I've got some stats for you.
Okay.
Most interceptions in the league, Moises Caicedo. Top 10 most tackles in the league this season, Moises Caicedo's in there. Top 10 midfielders for Jules 1, Moises Caicedo's in there. If you want a player that's going to do everything, it's got a few goals, but if you want a midfielder who's going to tackle, can defend, does everything that Declan Rice is supposedly doing, Moises Caicedo's that guy. And if you want to put the argument in for Declan Rice, compare his stats. It's not even close. By the way, Declan Rice has played every game this season. Moises Caicedo did all of this whilst being away at AFCON in January. I don't know if that's my best performance.
I think it is,
but
I didn't know what to do. I wanted to say, I wanted to say like, "Oh, the Arsenal fans aren't going to be happy with you." But internally, I was going,
yeah.
Keep going.
You know that meme of Lenny from The Simpsons? He's just going like this. You were that guy. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us once again. We're going to be back next week, next Monday and Wednesday, and every Monday and Wednesday for the rest of the season. We are on the go on Spotify. We're on the go on Apple Podcasts. You can find us on TikTok and Instagram for all the best bits at Alex Goalposts, at Wars Goalposts.
Hi.
And that's it.
Listen,